remember my first memory on the Polyfest stage was when I was holding the drum. I was young and I could see the crowd, and I felt that was where I wanted to be. That's where I felt I belonged.
Robert would have been about 5 years old when we started, back in 1995, I think. And we just thought, yeah, this is a great thing to do, to share our talent with other people. And Andrew being in a family with a background in dancing, my own great-grandfather was also one of the Lombiao originals. So I guess that was also in my gene, and I've always been doing dancing anyway, so yeah, so we thought, why not? We find that enjoyable, and we thought, why not share it with other people?
My earliest memory being involved in Polyfest was, I think I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I remember clearly my parents were at the Marcelin Chapel having practice.
The pressure, getting to learning how to handle pressure and all of these things.
All normal kids were having great school holidays at the pools,
really
at Rainbow's End, but we were in our garage, getting ready to practice and sitting down, sitting straight, smiling. If we didn't do it right, we had to do it again and do it again until we could eat the apples that we had ready for lunch.
Our family are touring 3 schools this year. It's Otahuhu College, Aorere College and De La Salle College.
As you see, we run our own practices. We now run the show, and especially times where we have more than one school, we split, and whatever school has practice on Monday, then the other schools should have practice on Tuesday. But then it's tricky when you have 3 schools, because then 2 schools would have practice on the same day. And since there's a lot of us, we just all split amongst all schools. And then Saturdays, everyone goes to every school. So we have busy weeks.
Yes.
And Sundays probably our free.
Our only free day. So we are fully in charge of the choreography and what songs and stuff that we want to do. But before that, we do discuss this at home. The really, really good thing about our family is that we always have feedback and feed forward, and we always critique each other's work, like, oh, maybe you should try this in the school. And because we're the kind of the younger generation, we try and modernize things, and we say, oh well, actually, can we twist this and change this? Maybe we need to add some more spice into this. And then we also have our parents who are more conservative and say, actually, we kind of need this to stay like this. We can't really mix the kava ceremony because the kava ceremony has to stay like this.
Andelu was brought up in Tonga in a totally different environment from the rest of us, and yet he's willing to hear new ideas. He could be really stubborn and say, well, no, that's not tradition, Robert. Don't do those moves in Tawhanua. It's not tradition. But because you have this opportunity to share ideas, and then you're open to ideas, and you just think, wow, it's really great.
There are some gaps there where we're kind of like, yay, we can add in a few moves, from YouTube or from TikTok, which is really, really good, because for my parents, they're really understanding. They'll say, you can add that in, but don't add in too much. We don't want to change the whole Tongan culture. We do want to show them that we are still up to date, but we are not trying to transform the whole thing into a whole new thing. Yeah.
They always want to meet you in the middle. So even if you do have a modernized idea, or if you do want to try and critique their ideas, then they're really understanding about it. But generally, when we do clash, it all depends on if you're the eldest or the youngest. So if you're one of the youngest trying to clash with the parents, then parents are going to take over. When it comes to Polyfest season, it's like our most stressful season and the most fun part of the year. because we feel that these are the weekends where we see each other every weekend, and these are the weeks where we see each other every day, and it's fun.
I think we would be doing this for life. We already have nephews and nieces who we have trained from, since they could walk. We teach them by singing them songs, like our faiva songs, and getting them to clap, or getting them to do a vete, or getting them to teki. And that for us is where we start them. We start them young.
Oh, my son's already included. He's watching YouTube videos of Tongan dance. He's coming with me to practices and mimicking what everyone's doing, or what I'm doing to teach the kids, and that's how he's going to start, and hopefully he carries on the tradition. Well, he is going to carry on, but doesn't really have a choice.
Polyfest really helps with not only learning the culture or learning our culture and enriching our culture, but we're also able to learn our language, and helps with our pronunciation, especially this day and age where we have Tongan people who can't really speak Tongan, and we have Tongan people who really mispronounce words and that, and we learn through our compositions and all of our practices how words are really meant to be pronounced, and how words are meant to be used in sentences, and how we could use words in sentences. So it's really significant.
What motivates me to keep going is actually standing there at Polyfest and watch them enjoy themselves up there. And we always give them that final speech. You've done your bit, you've done the hard work, now you've got to get up there and enjoy yourself. And then you stand there at the end, while they're performing, or at the end, and say, I had something to do with that.
When you see them on stage and during practices and their journey, you can really see everyone does have something to bring to the table, not just academically, but through dance and tradition as well.
I feel like it's just part of our lives as well. When we see people around, they're like, oh, Polyfest season for the Tulis. Yeah. So it's kind of just it's just another part of our being and our living. And because we really believe that it is a God-given talent that we've been given this, and it's not something for us to hold or to keep secret, but it's something for us to share. And if we're not sharing it, we're not really making the most of it. So yeah, this is our job to share this with everyone else.